like blush on brown. Hey you, your fly's down. Man, is that embarrassing? And you're looking a little gassy. Don't even get me started on you, armpits back in the corner there. Allow me to grace you with my knowledge and offer you a few tips. Let's call it Monica's Guide to not making a fool out of yourself. Tip 1, if your fly has a problem staying up, invest in button-only pants. Tip 2, if you're feeling gassy, quickly dash to the bathroom. Tip 3, when you find embarrassing sweat stains, use my patented sweat stain remover. Dump your water bottle all over yourself. Embarrassing sweat stains don't exist if you're soaked. I could go on and on with my exclusive hints, but the harsh reality is that it's next to impossible to avoid embarrassing situations. Fearing embarrassment should not hinder our progress. We should turn these embarrassing moments into constructive learning experiences. So today, by utilizing the 4-way Rotary test, we will determine the truth of embarrassment by defining it, and decide if it is fair to all concerned by seeing how the fear of embarrassment hurts us. Then, we will explore strategies for building goodwill by overcoming embarrassment. And finally, we will look at the benefits to all concerned of conquering embarrassment. Before we can conquer, though, we must first come and see, meaning first we must further define and analyze this truth of embarrassment. Embarrassment can be simplified down to our caring about others' judgments of us. Meaning, if I wouldn't have run into that glass door at our 8th grade summer party, I wouldn't be embarrassed by it. Dr. Anja Eller states, our main focus is the impact of our audience on embarrassment. We are embarrassed because we care about what other people think of us. This truth and reality of embarrassment is evident. However, this fear of embarrassment is not fair to all concerned if it prevents us, or because it prevents us from asking the questions we need to ask. For example, in my 6th grade history class, there was this know-it-all, Dan Moody. He would say things like, "Of course Delaware was the first state. Why would you even ask that question?" I was so scared in that class to ask any question because I was afraid Mr. Know-It-All would just humiliate me. Therefore, I kept my lips zipped. And when it came to tests, it became obvious how my own fear of embarrassment got in the way of my progress. By not asking those simple but essential questions, I hurt myself. You've all heard the cliche that practice makes perfect, right? Well, all too often, we don't allow ourselves the trial and error process that comes with practice because of the embarrassment fear factor. So is it fair to all concerned? No, especially not to the one that matters the most, ourselves. Does it build goodwill? Those who can conquer embarrassment do build goodwill. Embarrassment is one of the main reasons why we don't try. And if we don't try, how can we succeed? My English teacher recently competed in a triathlon. All the contestants were wearing spandex. She was running behind this man when she noticed a bulge appear in the lower part of his spandex. He had pooped in his spandex. Now, I don't know about you, but that trumps any embarrassing moment I've ever had. But you know what's really admirable about this guy? He didn't stop running. He didn't stop trying. He didn't let embarrassment stop him from accomplishing and succeeding. Dr. Gross from the University of Washington states, research shows that people who are embarrassed, admit to it, and stalwartly carry on are tremendously well liked. When you admit to an embarrassing situation, you show that the incident is not shameful. By admitting to our own embarrassment and accepting it, we are building goodwill. We are encouraging others to follow suit and also admit that this incident is not shameful. Is it beneficial to all concerned? In the end, we do experience benefits when we learn to conquer our embarrassment. Banny LaPainter, U.S. Secretary of Defense during the Cuban Missile Crisis, told Robert Kennedy, "Good judgment is frequently the result of experience, and experience is frequently the result of bad judgment." Through the various humiliating situations that have peppered my life, I've learned two things. One, I can't blush. I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but red doesn't really show up on brown. Two, because we cannot and should not avoid embarrassing situations at our own expense, and because it's difficult to ignore what other people think of us, we should learn to deal with embarrassment. I used to be incredibly embarrassed about every situation. I over-examined and cared way too much about what people thought of me. Then I realized, and am still realizing, just how silly that is. I've taken the first step to accepting and halfway embracing my embarrassment. Because of this, I'm not afraid to ask those silly questions in class. I'm more comfortable around my friends and peers because I can be myself, not someone who's constantly worried about embarrassing herself. So let's end this thing. I think I've gone on too long, and I wouldn't want to embarrass myself any further. Wait a second. I'm not worried about that anymore. Today, by utilizing the Rotarian four-way test, we've determined this fear of embarrassment is a unique ethical dilemma. We have defined the truth of embarrassment and decided that it is not fair or beneficial to all concerned and does not build goodwill if it prevents us from trying. Because if we don't try, we can't succeed. So you, who cares about your zipper? And you, so what if you fart during my speech? I'll deal. And you, sweat away. It won't affect me. We definitely came and saw embarrassment. Now, it's time we conquer it. Thank you.